to my channel. I was tagged by Bronco Juggalo to do this Leatherface tag, which basically just means answering some questions related to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. Well, I love horror, I love Texas Chainsaw, I've seen all the movies, so why the hell not? Let the questions begin! Question 1 is, who is your favorite character in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise aside from Leatherface? I don't actually have any favorites, but I would say Chop Top because he honestly scared and creeped me out more than Leatherface did. I remember watching the sequel late one night on the TV and I could not sleep that night because I just kept thinking of him with the coat hanger and it creeped me the fuck out. Question 2. Which actor portrayed the best version of Leatherface? Easily have to go with Gunnar Hansen, and not because he just happens to be the original Leatherface, but it's because of how he played him. He gave layers to that character. The character doesn't speak, and yet he was able to convey him as not just some psycho killer, but as shy and timid at times, definitely answering to dominant members of his family, and someone who is very confused, especially when it comes to his sexuality. He wasn't just one note, he was a lot of things, and all that together makes for a more impressive character. Bill Johnson tries to give Leatherface those same layers, and for the most part I think he does depict them, but he didn't balance them out very well and make them all create one cohesive character. After that they were all downhill, especially with Andrew Briniarski's depiction of Leatherface in the remake. I mean, yeah, he plays a mindless psycho killer great, but that's it. He plays him as a guy who just goes around killing indiscriminately, there's no range or depth to him, so yeah, definitely Gunnar Hansen, may he rest in peace. Question 3. Who is the better final girl, Sally or Stretch? For me, it's Stretch. She was smart, proactive, and a fighter. She didn't just run around screaming. She tried to think of smart ways to get out of her situation, and when she had the opportunity, she would fight back, and that's what I want to see. Question 4. What are my thoughts on the continuity in the franchise? What continuity? There is literally zero continuity in this franchise. I love the concept of Leatherface and this cannibalistic redneck family, but there is fuck all continuity from one film to the next. It is just a series of people who come along and say, hey, let's do a Leatherface movie and do whatever the fuck we want. Even the remakes have no continuity. Every single film in the franchise contradicts the film that came before it. In the remakes, the timeline is fucked and doesn't remotely work. In the last installment, Leatherface, the events of that film in no way lead up to the events that follow. There is no connection other than location and character names. The lack of continuity is my biggest pet peeve about this entire franchise. Question 5. Does R. Lee Hermie make a better evil sheriff or evil drill sergeant? Really? You cannot compare the two. He does both roles incredibly well, but one is a sadistic, fucked up serial killer in a cannibalistic family, and the other is a man trying to prepare cadets for the harsh reality that is joining the military. He does a terrific job at both, but you can't put them in the same frame. Question 6. Do you think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 should have been a straight-up horror film? Probably, but I really have no issues with the nature of the film, just the continuity issues, because frankly, out of the entire franchise, this one always creeped me out the most. Question 7. Who is more sadistic, Leatherface or the real-life killer he was based on, Ed Gein? Oh god. Okay, first of all, this is a dumb fucking question, like, why would you compare the two? One of them is fictional and the other is a real-life person who did real shit. It's funny because I know most people have said Ed Gein, and that was originally going to be my answer for that exact reason. You can't compare which is worse between fact and fiction because fact wins. However, I thought about it a little more and decided to focus on the word sadistic, and with that in mind, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but out of the two, Leatherface is more sadistic, and here is why. Despite the horrific story behind Ed Gein, nothing he did was sadistic. It was fucked up, but not sadistic. The two women he killed died quick deaths, and everything he did to them was post-mortem, so lucky for them they didn't feel anything. The remains in his home came from graves he dug up. He didn't kill those people. He was suspected of killing other people, including his brother, but they couldn't prove it, and still the nature of those crimes weren't about inflicting pain. Leatherface inflicts both physical and psychological pain to his victims. He will happily do whatever he wants to do to them, which may take hours or days of of them suffering in excruciating pain. And even if he does kill them more swiftly, it's still usually in a very painful, drawn out way. He doesn't care how much pain he causes. People are nothing to him. They're just animals for the slaughter. And for that reason, he is more sadistic of the two. Question 8. What is your favorite kill from the franchise? Honestly, I don't have one, but if I had to pick one, then off the top of my head, I give it to, and it pains me to say this, I give it to the 2003 remake, specifically the scene where Erin kills Andy. It's both brutal and emotional. She tries so hard to free him and she can't, and he's in so much pain and knows it's not going to stop, so he asks her to kill him, and as much as it kills her, she does it to end his suffering. Question 9. Reenact your favorite line of dialogue from the franchise. I'd have to have a favorite line of dialogue from the franchise, and since I don't, I won't be doing it. This was another tag I was really happy to do. I love talking about horror. Thank you to Bronco Juggalo for tagging me in this. Now, as for who I'm going to tag, I will once again tag Daniel from Half Cocked because I really enjoyed his video from the last one. I'm also going to tag Mick Rock Movie Reviews, Jamie Hughes, The Silver Screen Analysis, Movie Chatter, and Pop Culture Vulture. Hopefully all these people are familiar with the franchise, and I look forward to seeing who does it and what their answers are. I will also post links to all their channels in the description box, so be sure to check them out. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe if you're not already. Until next time, bye.